So, welcome to the Bottom Reader Book Club. I'm Lauren Rhodes. I'm a writer and a recently transplant based in Jackson, and founder and editor in chief of Read It magazine, and the author of the memoir Split the Baby. And I'm so happy to be co hosting this wonderful book club with our guest, Catherine Pierce, aka Katie Pierce, but I'm co hosting with my other illustrious Catherine friend, Catherine Simone Gray. And Catherine and I have been on parallel writing journeys here in Jackson. Um, and I just feel like, Catherine, your book is so in conversation with Boxes for Everybody. So I will turn it over to you, Catherine, to introduce yourself.
Thank you. Thank you, Lauren. So I'm Catherine Simone Gray. I'm a writer and writing teacher who's lived in the Jackson area for almost 30 years now. So Mississippi is solidly home. I'm the author of Proud Flesh, a memoir of motherhood, intimate violence, and reclaiming pleasure. And I lead writing circles for women, mothers, their thems, and femmes, particularly exploring how writing can be an ally in our living and loving. And I'm so excited to be here tonight with Lauren and Katie and to celebrate Katie's new book, or one of them, Boxes for Everybody. And I'm a Rooted Book Club alum, and I'm just really grateful for the work of Rooted and happy to be a part of the community.
Yeah, I realized we read Proud Flesh last March. So there's something about March. Um, so at Rooted, our mission is to tell stories of place from the people who call Mississippi home. And the book club is an extension of this mission where we celebrate writers with a connection to the South and books that explore place and home, which Boxes for Everybody certainly does. So tonight, Katie Pierce, former poet laureate, Mississippi poet laureate, is joining us to talk about this beautiful new memoir, Foxes for Everybody. And Catherine is going to introduce you, Katie.
Catherine Pierce served as Poet Laureate of Mississippi from 2021 to 2025. She is the author of 5 books of poems, including the recently released Dear Beat, as well as the memoir Fox for Everybody. Pierce co-directed the creative writing program at Mississippi State University for 15 years and now lives in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Hope I said that correctly.
You did. Yep.
With her family, where she runs the online poetry community, studio, and craft.
Welcome, Katie.
Thank you for having me on and for talking about boxes. And it's so nice to see both of you.
It's so nice to see both of
you.
you too. Yeah, it's really great to be together. And like I said, I feel like Proud Flesh and Foxes for Everybody are the 2 books that I wish I had before I gave birth. They're just so affirming, and we're talking before this. As someone who's now pregnant, like, this book is just feels like a gift at the right place at the right time. But I want to ask the 2 of you, because we were recently on an AWP panel together, and you just have a lot in common, and I want to know how it went. Tell me how it went.
I mean, I think it went great. It was so much fun. Our panel was on discovering new subject matter while parenting. And Catherine and I came up with the idea. We were at the Jackson Art Museum, the Mississippi Art Museum last April, right, Catherine?
Yeah, it was last April.
Yeah, and
Family Day.
we were just chatting about the things that we had discovered through our kids' interests that we found fascinating. Catherine reminded me at AWP that we think it was Octonauts that we were talking about, the TV show Octonauts. And so, yeah, we wanted to put together a panel where we talked about the ways that having kids, or even just being around kids in some way, can open up subject matters and interests and obsessions that maybe we did not know about before. And so we talked about sea creatures and dinosaurs and, I mean, all these things, very highly specialized things that kids can get very into. And it was great. We had a great time. It was really, and Beth Kander was on the panel also. And
Love Beth.
yeah, it was great. It was so much fun.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was a really great time, and getting to talk about writing as parents too, and that experience of how our practices can change for sure once parenthood arrives. So maybe we'll have to
Mhm.
talk about that later too.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, Catherine, we were talking earlier today, and you had a great question about the form of memoir and the content of the book and the form. So I'd love for you to chime in with that.
Sure, sure. So I've been a fan of your poetry for a long time, Katie, and have several of those collections, if not all of them, at home. And I mean, I guess I started reading them when I was already a mother, and was always so drawn to how your poetry contained those snippets of motherhood, little clips of conversations with your kids, wordplay. Oh, like hi hydrangea, hi dangerous. I love that one. And fears of life as a mother. So similar to some of the powerful themes we see in for everybody. But I'm curious what inspired you now, at this point of your writing journey and your mothering journey, to write a memoir organized around the hours of motherhood and to bring mother self around.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of a chicken and the egg situation. So when I started writing the essays in this book, I don't know what came first. I don't know if it was me saying, now I'm going to write essays, or if it was me saying, now I'm going to write about being a parent, and essay is the right form for me to do that in. Um, it felt very organic the way those two things happened together. I think that what happened, if I'm remembering this correctly, is I started writing these essays. I wanted to play with essays. And I was really inspired by Beth Ann Fennelly, another Mississippi writer who had recently, at the time, released her book Heating and Cooling, micromemoirs. And I was so blown away by that book. And her new book, The Irish Goodbye, is also amazing. But I was so drawn to that form, and it felt very liberating to me to think, oh, okay, I can write an essay, but it doesn't have to be 20 pages long. I can play with form in the same way that I might play with that in poetry. And I can play with something that feels more lyric and more snapshot like. So I started writing these essays, and I didn't set out at first for them to be about motherhood or about parenting. I was writing just like when I write poems, I was